Alrighty, folks. Hello and welcome to Atlanta Motor Speedway. My name is John Theodore, streaming live at twitch.tv/John Theodore Live. Recorded version of this broadcast at youtube.com/John Theodore. I want to thank y'all very much for tuning in. And a reminder, if you are watching on YouTube, please do click that like button and hit subscribe if you haven't already. And then head over to twitch.tv/John Theodore Live and give me a follow so that you can tune in on the live show at some time. We're going to be running the number 27, a Red Circle 1987 Chevrolet Monte Carlo. A Red Circle is a nonprofit in North St. Louis County focused on community development through a racial equity lens in that area. More information at aredcircle.org. 75-lap race tonight. 2 sets of tires in the pit. Standard fare. We're the number 1 ranked driver in the field tonight, so we're definitely going for the win. Got a lot of strong competition, so it's definitely not going to be a gimme. Let's go get qualified. Setter on pole would be the first step to a good race tonight.
All right.
Wow.
I wouldn't rule out a 32.5 by somebody.
Nazaire Idoura setting. That's a statement lap that he just put up right there.
Green flag.
Let's go see if we can beat it. Pretty good through 1 and 2 so far.
Yeah, held lap there, 7. Never mind, held a lap there, 5.
Not good enough. We're third quick. 6:54. So we'll start third, it looks like. Oh, wow. Brandon in 5:78. Brandon Sox is second in points right now. He is clearly bringing his A game tonight.
Pick a flag.
I think he's been practicing. He's going to do everything he can to try to take this championship from me as we head down the stretch here. We'll see. I like it. I like a good battle. Qualifying is one thing. The race, that's a different story. Third is not a bad starting spot. It would be nice to have that pit stall at the end of pit road, and it'd be nice to have control of the race from the beginning. But you know what? We're still starting up front. We should be in real good shape. Start running a lot more. We're gonna be running some C opens and stuff like that as we start getting ready for the Road to Pro stuff. There's also probably a league that we'll get involved with. There's gonna be some more announcements and things like that soon, talking about what we're doing for the Pro Series as we get closer to that. All right, so that held up for third quick. Awesome lap by Brandon. That's impressive. We'll see if he's able to sustain that kind of pace as we get into the race here.
Make sure you keep
drinking water today. We'll keep feeding you protein shakes and stuff like that.
We can do water. Got it right next to us here.
Who's on your outside?
Good luck, everybody.
Pit road is closed.
All right, let's do the
you.
pledge here.
Good to
I
see
pledge to be a good sport whether I win or lose. Good to see you too, man.
To practice.
Know that people online are real people and words have real impact. Yeah, Reed and I were stuck in our own session. They put us in just like a two-person session all by ourselves. To set a positive example of my behavior, to speak up against discrimination, hate speech, harassment, and abuse, to show integrity by honoring the rules of my opponents and my teammates.
Away from me like usual.
To stop listening and reassess them, told them words or actions are harmful, and respect others, even if their sincere opinions are different from my own. Exclamation mark. GLHF. Twitch channel chat, link in the description below this video. If you'd like to take the pledge yourself, be part of making an online game a better, more pleasant place for everyone involved. Cherokee Redman, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. Welcome to the family. All right, so fuel we're going to need,
how they do it.
call it
kind of
4 gallons.
And then as people leave, others can join in, etc. as far as that goes, so who knows?
Gotcha, yeah, I never looked into that before, so I just never knew how that
I need to change that link.
worked when it came to signing
That link is not right.
Like if there's 100 plus cars.
Additional sets of tires.
It's streamelements.com/John Theodore Live.
If they have 30 pit stalls or whatever for practice, you could have many more than that have joined and or left the practice session, but it wouldn't be over 30 in that. So, like I said, it just was strange.
Gotcha. Well, good luck, everyone.
Yeah, good luck, y'all. Let's have a clean one.
Line up behind the tire.
Yeah, good luck, guys. And John, you see, how well that helped me all that practice. I screwed up first lap, and didn't get any better.
Right on. Well, a lot of laps in this race. Qualifying just determines the start position.
Especially with as abrasive of a track as this one is.
Yeah, for sure.
There's some rubber. I did like a 30-lap stint in practice, and I think it was down to 30% of my right front, so definitely need to take a little bit more care of them.
Thanks, Gasso. Yeah, let's hope we get a good, clean race here. I would not complain if it went caution-free.
You ready to rock and roll? Let's do it, Earl. Yes, sir. How about pace cars off? Be ready. Pace cars off. Be ready. Be ready.
Smart move by Brandon there. That was not a good idea by now as to close up there. He left himself wide open for that move. So he's running the wall. Interesting and unexpected.
I mean, I was 3 wide. I didn't know where else to go, man.
Oh, yeah, you're getting him. How's your shot, brother? Go get him.
I wonder if that's how he ran that lap. I wonder if the wall's actually faster in qualifying, at least through 1 and 2. Yeah, good start. I love the black metallic spec map that he's got on that car. It looks really good.
Outside. Still outside.
Ooh, somebody's glitching in front of us.
Still outside.
He's going to hold on to it going into 3 here.
Clear. Outside. Door outside. Still outside.
Side by side.
Still there outside.
We got real close right there.
All clear. Outside. Inside. Clear.
Whew!
I didn't expect you to give room. I thought for sure you was going to clear.
That's all good, man. I got clear, a little tap in the square and butt. It's all good.
Next car for position. Did you say the next car for position? Yeah, never mind.
See if we can drive away. That would be fun. Get into a rhythm, take care and manage the tires, make sure that they just don't fall apart completely. I would love it if they'd start racing behind me too. That'd be awesome. I'm practicing, couldn't get a decent lap. Yeah, right on, man. I find that's often a good way to do it. If you really don't feel like you're ready to run the race, get more practice. Sometimes I'll use a race to, as practice. But, yeah, probably the right call there. Oh, he's got a big run down the back straight. Ten laps in.
Inside. Still inside. Still there, inside. Still there. Hey, looky there. Let's get him. Still inside. Still there, your door inside.
There we go, got the run off the corner.
Still inside. Still
Nas is
inside.
right on our bumper here.
Get the hell out the way. Still inside.
Not a great entry into one. Oh, we're going to get a monster run off the corner, though. There we go.
Clear low.
A little worried about how hard we're running the car right now in those tires, but we should be fine.
Outside, all clear. Outside,
Oh, he's going to get to my outside now?
still out there,
That'll make it interesting.
still out there. Still outside.
Nice pass.
Still outside. Still outside. Clear outside.
Sounds like I'm lifting right after the flag stand. Not quite. But not far from that. We're lifting right here.
Sorry.
No yellow.
Okay, no problem, man.
Yeah, I just had a bump and coming out two that sent me up into you.
That was not a good corner. What in the world was that? Car just wanted to take off on me. In the dogleg there, I almost hit the wall. Just a little bit late on my steering, I guess. Pull that right front off. Keep the front in clean air.
Wreck.
Caution.
Up there's the yellow.
Quickly tell me what you got.
All right, good first
I
run.
don't know where your mic is, but we do have
Yep,
a little
agreed.
bit of trouble hearing you under green flag conditions. So if you could push that back a little bit, would be awesome. Close.
I don't want the run to go about 20 to 30 laps longer.
Looks like you'll be lining up behind the door.
I don't know how y'all are making it around here.
I just got to run the Kyle Larson line. I don't have enough guts to run it, though.
It's like, feels like anytime I try to find speed, I'm just sliding.
I was about to say, you never know when that patch of ice gonna grab you.
It's
yeah,
true.
I wanted to grab me this early on.
So this will likely be our own one and only stop unless we get another caution with about 20 to go.
One of the bumps two threw me up to 19. Luckily, we were able to collect ourselves.
Victor's got to drop before us.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop on the sign.
Go, 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 go! Just a heads up, you know that you only have one set of right side tires remaining. Lining up behind the pace car.
61% right front, 70% right rear, lefts were at 82, 85.
I don't know about y'all's tires. Mine were 65, 72.
So, with 50 laps to go, we should be fine. I think. Yeah. Yeah, we're
That's an interesting call.
pretty good on that.
Last time I took 2, the car was still on edge, and I spun out of second last season.
My lefts were only 84, 86, so
Wow.
I decided to try to do it.
Brandon lost a lot of spots on that pit stop
one to go.
there. I'm surprised.
I'm sure y'all being faster pace than me anyways will drive back on by me.
He's outside of the top 10 now.
I feel like the car gets way too tight on the high line.
If you're not driving it right, it will.
I
He's
could
back to
try
12th.
be on the low line.
Back that brake bias back.
Can't go lower than 42.
It's true.
Yeah, what he said.
All right, so we will have 51 laps to go as we take the green flag here.
I think this is one of those tracks where I haven't found the line yet to keep up speed.
Those belts a tug. Get your tires cleaned off real well. Hey, car's down. Be ready. Baby, do your thing. Ready? Green. Hey, baby, let's air that thing out.
Just take her a little bit easy here at the start. Let
It
the
turns out I took 2. I unchecked the left box just in time.
no green white checkers in this one.
Caution, caution.
Yellow, yellow, yellow.
It's all on you, man. It's all on you. You make the call here.
Oh, we're staying out.
Lining up behind the pace car.
That's an easy call. Pace car middle back.
Pit road open.
What's the strength of field for this race?
35.
So that's why I'm doing so bad.
Nah, man, you're doing good. I'll be hard on yourself.
Man, you and the 4 blew through me and down at 2 like I was, stalling. I just can't figure out how to hook up the speed coming out of turn.
Just practice.
No, close.
Yeah, it's just a vibe.
I can do it like on a qualifying lap, but doing it consistently, my tires burn off too fast, so I just gotta figure it out eventually.
Practice them long runs.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
You'll learn how to go fast and save. So, pretty sure the 7 was saving. I was saving some too, so.
Yeah, it comes and goes depending on the track for me. Some I'm good at and some like this. I don't know, it feels like the mile and a half ones I've always tripped out the most.
Those have been my bread and butter in these cars lately.
The worst is when you think you're saving and you're just not.
See, that was my thing. I did a 30-lap run during the practice session before the race. I'm like, okay, I feel pretty good. And then give them pit road and it's like 30 and 42. I'm just like, oh, I guess I wasn't saving that much.
Yeah, Ryan, that's the boat I'm usually in. I'm like, okay, I'm hanging, and then I start to drop back, and then they all go a full stint further than I could have on a set of tires.
Yep, that's what just happened to me when you guys blew by me. I was like, man, I was hanging with them, and then just
45 to go here.
went to nothing.
T. Grinny 2021, John, been watching for a couple years now, big fan of yours. Want to thank you for the countless small
My
tips that
credit
you let
card
slip
did
during
just
races
buy
that I've
the
been able to
20
piece
minutes ago.
together and really
30
elevate
minutes
my
ago,
results
so.
in multiple cars. Glad to hear that's been helpful. That's always what I hope. You know, I just kind of talk through, give voice to my inner monologue as I'm racing, and
That's never
you know,
easy, Ryan.
I think there's a lot of little kernels of information and stuff that are helpful with that.
Well, like I know with Watkins Glen, there's like the free update for that one and whatnot, so I don't know if that's going to be similar or not.
It should be. There's been lots of free ones on updates and stuff like that. It just depends on where they're at with things. Don't agree.
So give those belts a little tug here. Let's get ready to go again. Line up behind the pace car. Pace car's off, be ready. Pace car's off, be ready. Green, green, green.
Yep, 27's my number whenever I can pick it. It's got a double significance for me. It's the number that Rusty had when he won the championship.
Mark, I'm sorry, man.
It's the only time that my favorite driver at the time has won the Cup Series championship.
Yeah, you did.
And then that was also the average, you know, that became associated with the whole Bernie Sanders thing with his average donation of $27. So that double meaning locked it in for me.
I did.
Race Oval
Yeah, unfortunately, I was
Dirt
gonna
in
hold
real
it.
life,
They were
looking
gonna
for a league
get
to join.
a
Right
little
on.
above me.
There are a lot of good ones out there. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's fun to have I've always, that number identity that, sticks with the driver. Always liked it. That's why I thought it was a shame that they sort of de-emphasized the importance of the numbers on the doors, with moving the number placement further forward. But yeah. There are a lot of good leagues on iRacing, almost too many good leagues, I would say. I would say that it would probably be better for the health of the league environment in iRacing if there were about half as many leagues, since so many leagues have trouble filling more than a 20-car field. If they were to merge a lot of those leagues together and get full fields, I think that would be better. It's just tough, though, because as the season goes on, as guys realize that, they're not going to be in contention for the championship or the playoffs for that season, they kind of start dropping off in participation, things like that. I actually think that season-long points are better for that because you always still have something to run for. The playoffs kind of draw lines where you feel like you're just out of it entirely. Whereas if you're running for season points, yeah, you might be out of it for the season championship, but you tend to have a points battle and something that's still meaningful that keeps coming back every week.
The road is closed.
Looks like Mark might have been that caution that time. So Naz is up to 6th, Victor's 8th, and Brandon is up to 9th. That's the guys who lost all that track position by changing 4 tires, I think. Although Naz said he actually only took 2. I think he just didn't get into his pit boxes cleanly. But we still do have a bit of a cushion. I think the ideal scenario for us would be if it were to just go green for these final 40 laps. I don't know if that's going to happen. But these cautions are helping those guys because they get a couple spots and then a caution comes back out and compresses the field again. At the same time, with the jumps that I'm getting on the restarts, it's at least putting me in a situation where I'm not vulnerable for a handful of laps after each restart. So, if we restart with 5 to go, I would probably feel pretty good about that. But, I don't really want to roll cautions until then. I want to get laps, get into a rhythm, and just try to set a pace and check out.
We're on 1 to go.
So 40 laps to go at this restart. We're working our 3rd caution of the race. 35 laps will be complete when we get the back to green here.
Give those belts a tug. Make sure you got your switches where you need them. Pace cars off. Big man, do your job. Boss man, pace cars off. Let's do this thing. Green flag.
Yeah. We'll talk through a lap once we get out in front here a little bit. Get up to speed. So lift right about here. Just very little brake drag. You want to just kind of drag the brakes. It helps keep it going. Still 3/4 throttle through here, then get to full. You just kind of want to feel your way to it and work the car up there, being respectful of the grip of the tires. Lift right at that NASCAR sign. Back down to the inside.
Yeah, that was wild.
And again, I'm not full throttle until I'm already out by the wall.
I don't know what the hell happened there.
Ryan in the 10 here is flying on this restart.
I thought so too. Oh, scary. They gave us both a 4X. What the hell?
Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know if it was me or not. I know
10 car got a
we had
great
bad
restart
weather in
there.
the area, so if it was, sorry.
Not you.
We're halfway.
Heck of a save, though.
Yeah, we're just wheeling it here in a hot Atlanta.
Pay to win setups car. Ain't gonna help you in a fixed setup lead, brother.
Inside.
Yeah, I've been
Still
connected
inside.
solid. It's just my
Clear,
finger's
clear,
a little bit
clear.
higher than it normally is, so.
Coming to halfway this time.
Oh, we done passed halfway already. So funny that they're a lap late on that alert every time. $35 to go. Jason's making a move back on the 10. Really do love to see those guys side by side behind me. Still need to pull a second on them to really break free of the draft. About 1.5 seconds is where that barrier is. So, but the further you get out in front, the less effect the draft is having. .42 complete. Yeah, I'm just riding the brake there, and then it's real easy. Atlanta is very much a don't break the egg track. If you get back to the throttle too aggressively here, you can definitely spin the car on exit or in the center of the corner. And if you're back to it too late, then you'll have to step on the throttle. But what you really want to do is you want to be applying that throttle to the point where you're just coaxing that back run around enough that, like, I don't know how, but it feels like you're up against a cushion. You're just right there on it. Once you start learning the feel for it, it feels really nice, and then you just start driving to that feel everywhere you go. But that's how you make speed here. All right, 31 to go. I do not want to see a caution at all at this point. We got over a second gap there racing behind us. Just want to check out and drive away. "30 laps left. Feels like an eternity." .29 to go. Just trying to be as smooth as I absolutely can, both with that little bit of brake that I'm using to get into the corners and with the throttle application off. Smooth is fast. You're not wasting any grip scrubbing the tires, and you're also not like that. You know, if you hit that balance just right, you're also not abusing the tires, and you're able to run a fast line while still conserving your tire tread. So that's what you want to do. You want to be fast, consistent, and not kill the tires while you're doing it. Felt like I maybe leaned on the right front a little bit too much there. There we go. That was a good exit. .25 laps to go. That's still a lot of time left. That's a third of the race. Victor's worked his way up to third, and he's running that high line. Uh-oh. Oh, no, he's fine. Thought I saw him hit the wall, but he did not. That was a little bit too plowy off the corner there. Right on. Yeah, it's slightly more live than Twitch if you're watching as a spectator in the server. Twitch has a pretty decent delay.
That was costly.
22 to go. Want them to keep racing back there. 21 left. $20 laps to go. Old Jason might be smelling a little blood and water back there. He has been gaining. Oh, there's a yellow.
Thank God for that caution.
Would you like a protein shake or a bar or anything like that?
I'm not agreeing with that assessment. I would have preferred that we not get that caution, but
Did you get turn 10 or just loose?
No,
we're gonna hustle around, catch the pace car here,
roadblock for about 15, 20 laps.
and pit.
I know exactly what you mean.
Takes pit strategy out of the equation. I can't imagine anyone staying out here.
I saw you how you were loose as hell, man. Good racing there.
Not using much braking at all entry to mid-turn. I don't know if you can... I think my telemetry shows on there. You can see it's just a touch of brake. It's really not much at all. And I've got the brake bias. So I'm using 16-to-1 steering ratio, and the brake bias is the absolute minimum you can set it to at 42%. So the brake, it's not even to slow the car down. It's really just to try to coax that back end around a little bit so that you get a little bit of slip angle in the corner.
The one thing about the outside line, it sure is pesky. You just get such a good drive off.
Start looking for your sign. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop on the sign.
All right.
Go, 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 go. Hard, hard, hard. Go. Drive smart. There are no more right side tyres to put on. Line up behind the car.
That was close and critical.
Almost sped. Hope I didn't get a speeding penalty.
Nazaire, even though we both got 4X, did you get any damage from that at all?
So lefts are at 57.63. The rights were at 60.71, so we're good.
Yeah, neither did I, so obviously net code for sure.
Honestly, a little bit slow getting out of my box. That was closer than I needed it to be. But looks like we're going to have a restart with 15 to go. Assuming I, get a decent jump and good drive away here, we might be in good shape to be able to hold on to this thing. Don't call me the closer. Don't jinx me, please. I haven't earned that nickname yet. All right. It's going to be 15 laps when we get the green. I like Harvick, man. I don't know. I especially like he's good for the sport. I know that I did take issue with some of his reaction. Like, it was more that I had issue with
56-64.
his fans than I had an issue with him, honestly. Like, I kind of got annoyed with both the Chase Elliott and Kevin Harvick camps because neither of them were, like, willing to be honest and objective and looking at what their driver did in contributing to the situation. But like at the end of the day, I don't hold any resentment or ill will toward Harvick for what he was doing in that scenario. You know, he was trying to establish a line, and you know, at that level, you do there is a certain amount of like you got to kind of protect yourself, otherwise people will take advantage of you.
Yeah, I also because
I love Uzo.
In that wreck earlier where I basically spun half.
I actually don't have any Uzo in the house right now, but the only
down the tires because was like lap 25,
Uzo
so
bottle is this one sitting here that I use for water.
Spin all the way to the checkers. But I'm getting a little better. Just still isn't my best track, but hey, we all have those.
Yes, sir. Kentucky for me.
That's crazy because it's weird. Kentucky is a good one for me. I used to struggle with Poconos, but I've kind of got the hang of it.
As you're running around out there, just take notice
Just
where the
1.5
shade is
hours,
on the
man. I
racetrack.
can't get those short tracks. Great. 1.5, very iffy.
All right, boss man, we got the pace car off. Be ready. Pace car's off. Be ready. Green flag. Green flag.
Got to be aware that the car can be a little bit slidey when you've only got rights over lefts on that first corner. So just be aware of it. Be deliberate with your movements and don't spin the thing. Oh man, he's right on my bumper. We got a race on our hands, folks. "13 laps to go. Come on, Victor, get on his bumper and hassle him so that he's not hassling me. Just don't pass him and me both." "12 to go.
I don't know if that upset you on entry, Brandon, but I was just trying to get you moving.
That was a good corner. Guys who drive dirt tend to be really good at driving this series. That whole go get yourself some dirt experience thing that Schrader told Edwards to do definitely applies when the cars drive like this. This was the style of car they had on asphalt. It is... There are characteristics with driving it off the right rear that transfer, that I don't think transfer in the same way to more modern Cup Series cars. The Gen 6 and the Gen 7, I don't think that same skill set transfers the way that it does for these. 10 to go.
Gonna be 10 laps to go this time.
Gave up a little time there. 9 to go. Yep, just got to stay smooth. Eight to go. Now we're at a part of the race where a caution actually wouldn't be an unwelcome sight.
Caution, caution.
Oh, that's going on TikTok.
Behind the pace car.
Still gotta get things right here on this, but that makes it a lot easier.
Sorry to hear that, Ryan.
We're only gonna have a couple laps left, and with the jumps that I've been getting on the restart, I should be in good shape here. Oh man.
Open.
No pit. Not even gonna fake for it. There's no point. No one has an extra set of right side tires anyway. Where do I mount the crystal ball in my car? Here's a good question. Six laps to go. We're still pacing. Should get 2 to green this time by. Which means we're going to have like a 2-lap shootout, it looks like. Reed's running 4th. He sure as heck, he was saying that he wasn't feeling too confident about how he's running this place early on. He seems to have figured it out quite nicely. Excuse me. It sure seemed that way in the moment, did it not?
The road's closed.
2 to green. 5 laps left, so we're actually going to get the restart with 3 to go. No one has any tires left, so the only people pitting would be repairing damage. The cautions were spaced out to the right amount where it did sort of take pit strategy out of the equation, which is nice for me, given that, you know, I ended up in front, and when you're out front, you want the race to continue in a predictable manner that removes those different strategy variables from the equation. So yeah, we're going to get a restart with 3 to go. We need 3 perfect laps, and if caution comes out before then it'll finish under yellow, because this series does not have green-white checkers. Oh, just got to close this thing out.
We're on 1 to go.
Ain't over till it's over. 6 perfect corners is what we're looking at. Is Jason an Aussie?
Line up behind the pace car.
Daryl, how you doing? Welcome.
All right, Earl, let's get her done, buddy. 10-4. Pace car's off, big man. We're going to let you do your thing. Pace car's off. You ready? Ready. Green flag.
Oh no. Big wreck in the back.
You gotta be kidding me. I got a black flag for that.
No caution though.
Yeah, everybody in the field went, and then they all checked up. Sorry.
I had stacked up in front, so nothing I could do.
I held my speed. It was just, you know, the guy behind me was catching up to me, and then I went when he got there. So, you know, I didn't mean to check everyone up, but I got the control of the restart.
Yeah, I'm not saying it was your fault. I don't. Everybody in front of me started going, and they stopped. And I spun Brandon. I'm sorry, Brandon.
Oh no.
That was probably my fault.
Had no choice but to go left to avoid Brandon because, you know, what am I supposed to do? Drive into him? Like, I get a black flag for that?
Unfortunately, there's nothing iRacing can do to differentiate that. Last lap here.
One more lap.
Oh, if they get side by side, that'd be beautiful. It's just the ask and ye shall receive race, apparently. Last lap.
Slow car coming backwards on the inside. Stay to the high side.
That's a winner in Atlanta, folks. Love to see it. Boom! All right.
Now, is there a way to protest black flags or what?
Now that's how you do it.
No.
Oh, nice.
Thanks, guys.
Nope, it's going to put you probably as the last person on the
I hate that happened to Brandon. That's awful for him.
That's some fucking bullshit.
Your brother. Back points,
Nice
my man.
win, John.
Back points. Well done. Very proud of you.
Yeah, great win, John. You're on a roll in these Monday nights.
Yeah, thanks, guys. It was a good race. I hate that things got stacked up on that last restart there. But good race. Always fun racing with y'all.
Thank you.
Yeah, man, I think that's, what, 3 Monday night wins in a row?
No, sir. Not in a row. But that is 3 Monday night wins for the season. Charlotte and Michigan were the other 2.
I thought you also won at Richmond last week.
I did win at Richmond on Monday night, but not in the strength of field split. I had to go back for the second one for that one.
Oh, I see. Well, 3 Monday night wins overall. Good job overall, man.
Yeah, it's actually 4 wins on Monday night, and then 1 on Tuesday, I think, this season. But yeah, thank you. It's always fun racing with you guys. A lot of fun. Good race, guys. Great way to start the week. Nice way to, shake off the disappointment and road to glory again, too. So, yeah. We gained 58 iRatings, so that's going to put us up to around 5360, it looks like. 5362. Should get some really good points for that. That'll help in the championship standings, which we will take a look at after I get through my usual self-indulgence of going through the race and getting some screenshots and things like that. Our usual victory ceremonies. That was really fun. Just, sometimes everything feels like it's cutting against you, and then some races it feels like everything just kind of goes according to plan. And, with this one, I got the lead, came in third and got the lead because my competition, the guys who were in front of me decided to take 4 tires, I think, or if they didn't take 4, they either did that or they messed up in the pit boxes. I think they did choose to take 4. And then we had, the cautions just kind of fell at the right times for me. And, yeah. But I was able to execute and take advantage of all that, too, and we got the win. All right. Later, Gasso. Thanks for hanging out, man. Oh, it feels good to get a win. Always feels good to get a win. I love racing these things at Atlanta. They are so much fun. Yeah, man. You still riding that high from that win last night? All right. Let's go take a look and see how.
Restart by Jason. Speeds up to 72, makes everybody think we're going.
Yeah, let's go back and look at the final restart first. So let's look at it from TV 2, I guess.
Yeah, no, Keenum.
There's a big gap there. He starts closing it up, and then when I see that he gets to the point where he's gonna. Thing is that so what I'm doing here is I had been noticing that he had been hanging back a little bit on me, and he's not the only one leaving gaps. You know, there's a gap here as well, gap there.
No problem,
But yeah, so what I'm doing is
you touch very big my car. No problem, man.
I'm watching in my rearview mirror, and right there, when I see that he gets to the point where he gets close enough to my bumper, that I'm actually riding, 67 miles per hour, which is a little bit faster. But when I see that he gets to the point where he's like, all right, I'm up to him, I'm going to have to check up. As soon as I see that check up there, that's my cue. Boom, I'm on it, I'm gone. And then, that does, the net effect that tends to have is when a guy is going and catching up to the leader and the leader hasn't gone yet, that usually does create a stack up in the field. So you can see right there, he gets on the brakes. Brandon's trying to go. He gets into the 43. 2 gets into him. 16, it's... 16 actually was... It was the 2 that he went to the left of, not the 5. But yeah, I can see where Nas, there... this car right here felt like there wasn't a lot he could do there. Oh, I know that's what you were trying to do to me last night. You did a great job. Like, that's part of it, is when you've got the lead, you've got control of the restart. They don't have a restart zone, so the leader does have a lot of leeway to, manage the restart in a way that's advantageous to them. And, I think it's fair game to do that. You've earned that spot as the leader. So... I do hate to see this, because that's a big championship hurt there for Brandon. I'm sure he'll come back and, kind of like I did last week at Richmond when I had a bad finish. I came back, I'm sure, and got a better one. I'm sure he'll do the same. But that definitely is a big... it's a wound for him in the championship, and that's a shame, because he put in the practice. He sat the pole. He was doing everything right. I think his biggest mistake in this race, when he goes back and looks at it, was taking 4 tires on that first caution. So, you know, we had a pretty good start to this one. Let's see, what was it? It was lap 6, I think, where we took the lead. Got side by side. We had a great battle with Brandon here for the lead. Let me wind it forward a little bit here, actually, so we get the Atlanta in the shot. I put all these screenshots in my Discord, by the way, so those of you who aren't in the Discord. Oh, here it is. I slid up, and he kind of misjudged it. Fortunately, it didn't turn me, but, you know, he was trying the crossover and just kind of got me square in the back. Little 0x, no harm, no foul. And so, yeah, lap 5 was the first lap that I led in the race. Sailed for a little bit, and then he starts running the high line, pulling back in on us. I had to go up there to try to take his line away, but he was actually able to, you know, work a real good run here. He was better at the high line than I was tonight. And he was able to get the pass. I don't know how hard he was running his tires. What were mine at the end? 85, 70. Oh, they wouldn't be much at the end of that one, because, yeah. And the rears were burned up a lot more from the celebration. But yeah, right front was at about an 85 at the end. We were in sprint mode. I mean, I tried to hang tough on him on the outside as best I could. Oh, this was it. He gets to my outside, and then that's how he was able to get the lead. And then Victor was able to go around on my outside too. So I actually ended up dropping to third. Yeah, right here. I knew that I was pretty well dead at this point. That was some great racing early on, though. Yeah, that first run was so much fun. Would have been interesting to see how it would have played out had it gone green the whole way. I think I had a pretty good strategy in mind for how I was going to play it if we got to green flag pit stops. But, you know, who knows how it would have played out. The only thing for certain is the way that it did play out. So yeah, we get our first caution was at lap 21. And we'd actually lost a little bit of ground to the front too. You can kind of see the lead that they had on me. And you can see the cause of that first yellow back here. Yeah, it looks like the 16 kind of slides up into the 19 there. Oh, and it takes out the Skull Bandit. Good looking race car. You hate to see that, so. Yep. There it is, the first yellow of the race. Don't like to see that. Hate it for those guys. And that brought out the caution. Go down pit road. And yeah, we're going to see I go up on the jack for the right side tires. And I got down and leave. Brandon's still getting his 4 tires and stuff, so, you know, we had a lot of cars take 2. Look at how many spots the 5 ends up losing here. It's crazy. And that was what put him, you know, if he takes 2 and keeps the lead, that's a very different race, the way that it plays out, I think. Brandon. Yeah, man. No, you were fine. I was clear, but not by enough for you to make the crossover with your foot in it, because you had more momentum. But again, you know, no harm, no foul on the contact. It's all right. I know you. I know you race clean. I love racing with you. You're making me sweat this year, for sure. I hate this happened to you. I know this is a big points hurt for you. So restart lap 25, and then lap 28 we're back under yellow. This was a pretty quick one. Colby Baber in the 8, going to the inside 3 wide on the 16 and the 5. And it looks like the 16 kind of just comes down into his lane and tries to self-clear, and I don't think that there was actually room to do that. The 33 gets into it again. Just a rough race for him. Who is that in that Harry Gant car, by the way? Kyle Bingaman. In the number 13 car, or the 13th ranked driver. Another quick caution. Lap 31 we had a restart, and then very quickly we're under yellow again right here. A lot of cautions tonight. Oh, this was Mark's wreck. Oh, the 9. Oh, that hurts. Stu in the 9. We've raced with him a bunch. He races these with us a lot. He clips the wall. So check this out. This is something to watch for. This is a little bit of an instructional moment here. So right here, as you approach this corner, right there, you see how this safer barrier, here's the concrete wall. The safer barrier juts out from it. And that is what he hits. It just that the safer barrier jut out combined with him trying to swing a little bit to the outside kind of catches him out. Watch this from his cockpit. You see how that, you can see how with his line, he's sort of entering the corner as if the wall stays where the concrete wall is, but this jut out from the safer barrier catches him out. I've done that, usually going into turn 1 rather than turn 3 is where I've caught it, because you're already swinging out. But yeah, that can just catch you out sometimes. And unfortunately for the 15 there, he pays the price for the 9's mistake. And has a big old slide. Does he suffer any big damage from this? Nope, 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 nope. Everyone gets by. Which is fortunate. We go back green, lap 36, another good restart. And so I do want to say something is that, you know, the restart game had been happening and building all race. You can see that there was that big gap, and every time I'm going at a little bit different time, just trying to, you know, make it so that Jason can't predict when I'm going to go. Which is eventually what leads to, you know, what ended up happening on that final restart, which is that he's trying something different because he's got an opportunity to try to make something happen on a restart. Feels like that's his only shot, is to try to get a jump, and it ends up causing a stack up. But we had been playing some restart games with each other for a while. This is the one where the 10 gets loose, gets up into the loose stuff, barely hits the wall. I'm actually kind of shocked that that brings out the caution. Didn't even look like he was around enough to cause it. I guess right there is about where he's the most around. That's not 90 degrees. Usually that doesn't bring out a caution in iRacing. You usually actually have to be perpendicular to oncoming traffic. Yeah, Jerry, man. Glad I was able to bring home a win for you on the first time you were watching. That's a cool deal. Appreciate you. And yeah, there'll be some Road to Pro starting up soon, so there will be open set stuff happening before too long. Like I said, more to come on that front. Let's see. Lap 68. This was the caution that I called for, and it was the 10 again. Coming off the corner. He took responsibility just a little bit, gets into it a little, gets it loose, comes down into the 14, and then gets hammered by the 18 car there. So, yeah, just a stack up in the back. Knocked the front end off of it when he hit the inside wall. That hurts. And then we have the final restart, and we all know what happened on this one. The big mess. I'm honestly shocked that this didn't bring out a caution. I guess it's because Brandon's technically in the grass here, and the 2's up there. So I live stream Sunday nights at 8 Central, Monday nights usually starting at around 6 Central, and then this race at 7:30 Central. And then I've been trying to do like a road race on Wednesdays. That's going to go away. Road to Pro is going to be on Thursday nights when that starts up. So I'll probably make Thursday night my other streaming night, and it'll either be Road to Pro or NIS. And then Saturdays at 11 is the other NIS race that I might try to do. So that's a rough idea of the schedule when I'm usually live. So yeah, we were able to get out front here. They didn't run away from him on this final one. White flag in the air. They're battling. And they're, you know, right behind me. But I see that they might be getting side by side, which I love. Yeah, Ryan, I think you should try out Road to Pro. I would try to get connected with, get yourself attached to a team and give it a shot, man. Even if you don't make the top 70 this year, you want to learn, if you have any interest in trying to go for it, you want to learn how the pace of that season flows. You just want to get experience running that season. Yeah, passing the 2 on the outside probably would have been better, Naz. I mean, I don't know. You were put in a tough spot. That's just real, you know. Sometimes stuff happens and it's difficult to react properly in the moment. 10-4 beat up. I'll check it out. Unless it's something you want me to try to pull up on stream. We can do that in a second if that's the case. There's the winning moment. Yeah, no, I hear you, man. Look, on those final restarts, it is dog eat dog. Winner take all, whatever you want to call it. I don't really like that dog eat dog phrase. I love dogs. Seems like a slightly anti-dog phrase. Victor giving us a tap here. Very cool. Always, I like this. I like guys, you know, when guys come up and show the respect at the end of a race. Take a look at it in a second. I'm going to close the YouTube video out, and then I'll see what it is. Get ourselves turned around here for the Polish victory lap. You don't have to join a league for Road to Pro, so you need an A-class license, and that's about it. It's a Class A series that runs the trucks in open setups. Yeah, Brandon, man, dude, you definitely did the work this week, and you've been pressuring me all season. You're going to keep me honest all the way going down to the end here, assuming that it does come down to us and some of the other guys who haven't run as many races but have some really good finishes come into play. That Talladega week really hurt, so I've been having to make up for that ever since. I just could not get a good finish at Talladega, and I'm going to be honest, I'm a bit worried about Daytona for the same stuff. It just... Those plate tracks are the big super speedways are such a roll of the dice. There it is. There's a winning car in the closest thing we have to victory lane at most tracks. All right. So now we'll take a look at the results. 212 points. Heck yeah. That is a nice haul. 57 iRating gain. We're up to 5361. But yeah, that's a big assist in the points. That'll help us out a lot. Go ahead and we will take a look at what the standings look like now. Obviously, this is going to change a little bit. Brandon is going to come back later this week, I know, and close in a bit. But yeah, we're sitting with a healthy points lead at this present moment with 8 weeks counted. So drops start coming into effect after this point, which means that, you know, Jason Clapper here, who's only run 7 races and is at 956, he's going to come more into contention with it. Chandler Parsons only got 6 recorded and 865. So, you know, if you add a couple 200-point finishes to that total, that puts him at 1265, which would only be 3 points behind me. If he gets more than 200 points averages more than 200 points over those 2 races that he has in hand, he's definitely becoming and challenging. Sean M. Butler with only 5 starts, if he decides to, you know, add those, he's looking even better. If you add an average of 200 points to his total, that would put him at 1387, which would give him a big lead over me. So it just depends on, you know, what happens with the rest. Greg Wellen as well, kind of the same deal. Like I said, that Talladega race where I did not do well really hurt. So, you know, we'll see what happens over the remaining weeks if those guys actually decide to fill out and run the rest of the schedule. That's all going to play into it. But right now, at this present moment, we're sitting kind of pretty in the point standing. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Appreciate y'all. If you like this video, please do click that like button, hit subscribe, head over to twitch.tv/John Theodore Live. Click that heart to give me a follow. Thank you very much. Peace out. We got to win.